clappers.
Yeah, this is like the...
And we are live with the first episode of Gratcast. John, we've got a seat here we're going to have to fill here shortly.
This is amazing. I can't wait to fill it.
Great, good start.
Good
I'm going to need a little more from you than that.
It's the official unofficial. Come on, let's go.
It is the official, unofficial 100th episode of Gratcast. What that means is we've done somewhere around 100 episodes, but we've misnumbered along the ways, so it's 100 as far as we're concerned. Yeah. We're going to be talking to Kolla today. She's got a new film coming out called Plastic Daydream. We're going to be talking to Payday CEO Silver Padilla, and we've got a bunch of stuff to get into. John, we're going to be talking about how we can go from MeToo to NoMore tonight. Are you excited to talk about that?
I'm excited.
Like a fun subject for you?
A fun subject? I don't know, but certainly an educational subject.
I think we've got a lot to offer on the subject. I think Kathy's going to have a lot to offer on the subject. She's been in the industry on all different levels for, 10, 15 years now.
That's incredible.
Climbed her way up to the top,
of course,
and I'm sure she's seen a lot of stuff, and we're going to find out all about that. She also grew up in Michigan, John.
You know I'm a fan. You know I'm a big fan. Came from Michigan myself. I don't want to get too much into it because I want to talk to her a little bit about it.
Well, we don't have to worry about getting too much into the lines. So, where do you want to start, John? You got any small talk you want to throw in here? Anything we want to correct from last week's episode, or should we just pull Kathy right out here?
Let's just pull Kathy. Let's just get right to it. We can do this.
Yeah. You're not giving me a lot here so far, so we're going to need a third person in.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're bringing Kolla in, everybody.
Woo!
Back and forth.
And welcome.
This is cool. Oh, and you gave me a drink. This is so nice. So this is one of our sponsors, huh?
Yes, that is. That's a prop, though. You can't drink that till the end.
So what is the name of this?
It is Young Scent.
Very nice.
But it's a drink, not a scent.
Okay, and it's like a kombucha type drink, or what is it?
Yeah, I've done a lot of pre-show prep, but it didn't include the Young Scent bottles. So they're good props for right now. Before you walk off, you have to chug that whole thing down.
Oh, I will. A friend that's here in the audience, Kashovi, he actually drank one of these and said it's very delicious. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good to know.
What flavor do you have? We've got to try somebody that already took a test of it. Yeah. All right, Kathy, let's get right into the big topic. Michigan,
yes. You're from Michigan.
Yes, Southeast Michigan.
Yes, so we can talk about this.
Yeah, we discussed a little bit.
Yes, I'm from Redford. It's a suburb of Detroit.
Okay.
And it's very boring there.
Yeah.
Not much going on.
That's how Michigan is. That's why I left. We discussed that a little bit beforehand. Yeah.
And he said that he used to scrape the ice off of his windshield before
and shovel
going to work.
No good day
it took
starts
about
at
an
5
hour.
a.m. scraping ice off.
Right. I remember doing that.
Yeah.
And
that's why we're all here now.
I don't have any memories of that.
I had friends who would they would have their own car starter, so they could heat their car up.
Okay.
I didn't have that. No, I had to go out and do you know what it is.
That's actually illegal in some places.
Is it?
Is to start your car running without being in it. Yeah. You can get a ticket for that.
Really? Even if it's in your driveway?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That doesn't make much sense. But one thing I do like about Michigan is I do like the fall. I must say,
off.
Like I like the trees. I just wanted to.
Yes.
It's amazing though, right?
And the people there are.
Are we talking about the trees?
Very nice. I'm just telling you about Michigan, bro.
Michigan.
There are a lot of wonderful things about Michigan.
She knows.
I do go back to visit often. Mm-hmm. I do love it there. I even go when it's snowing.
Do you have a portfolio of the trees?
Don't like the snow.
I don't blame you.
No.
You ever go to Traverse?
Traverse, yes. Traverse City.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful there.
So what brought you to LA, and when did you come to LA?
Well, I came to LA because it's the complete opposite weather of Michigan.
Yes.
First, that's the main reason. Second, because there's so much art and culture and the movie business. I mean, everything's here. So.
Did you know you wanted to be a filmmaker before you came to LA?
It's funny. I wanted to work in the film industry. I didn't know at what capacity. But if I think back when I was growing up, I was the one who always had the video camera. I was always going around filming everybody. So if you look back at the videos of our family gatherings and all that, I'm not in them because I'm the one with the camera. So I guess maybe I wanted to be a director, just didn't know it at the time.
I see the light never went off for me that early on as the filmmaker and all of that. I always loved telling the stories or watching the stories, but like I was so lost in what was going on screen that it never occurred to me there was people making that shit and all that. I was in the story, we're there, and that was it. So I had to come to LA first and just to get away from the snow, all of that stuff, and then being exposed to the industry and starting to actually realize it was a real place. That's when it really started sinking into me, and I was like, wait a minute, this light should have went off a long time ago.
Well, when you're young and you're watching TV, you just think that this is what's really happening, and you don't realize that actually,
I want to hang out with those people.
Exactly. Well, these people are cool or whatever, But you realize there's a whole art behind it. And once I got on set and started learning all the different things, all the different jobs that these people have, and it's so inspiring and incredible to me. I was like, I have to be part of this.
Yeah, the amount of different people that have nothing to do with on screen, but is a job here, a job there that's got to be done and all of that. It really is eye-opening how many people live off the industry, and not just the people at the top making all the money, the producers, all of that type of stuff, but like mom and pop businesses, caterers, all these people that are they're feeding the crew and all of that. It's just layers and layers of impact the industry has on all these different other industries and businesses and all of that. That was the part to me that amazed me.
Yeah, no, it is amazing. It's
So what was the first thing you did when you got out here in the industry?
Well, the first thing I did was I guess I helped out at this modeling agency just to try to get a job when I first moved out here, and then I started doing a little bit of stand-in work, and then that's where I discovered, there's a whole world here. So let me start to learn about each little thing. Like I learned about what it is to be a prop supervisor and what that job entails. So I started doing that, and as a stand-in, I got in with a crew, and we would go from pilot to different shows, and we would all kind of stick together. So I slowly got to learn all the different aspects of the business.
The sticking with the crew part is so underrated, and I think it takes so many people such a long time to figure that out that's how most people consistently work in this town. If you're constantly looking for jobs, you're not building the right relationships.
It's all about relationships. I'm telling you, this whole business is about relationships. Of course. Finding the right people. Yeah. And if you find people that are negative and people that aren't helping you or promoting, get rid of them quickly.
Because they're going to bring you down.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I always hear that you should hang out with people that are more successful than you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
because then you can strive to be like them. If you hang out with people that are less successful than you, you're going to go down to their level.
But what are going to rub off on you?
It's going to rub off on you, right?
But if you're hanging out with more successful people, then those people are hanging out with less successful people.
Yes, they don't realize that. So you have to be the one who finds the more successful people, right?
Yeah,
They're making the big mistake, not you.
So, Billy Bones. How did the documentary "Who Is Billy Bones" come about? When did the transition start going from helping to do props and stand-in and all of that? When did you start taking control and saying, "I'm going to create my own opportunities"?
Okay. Well, I actually I worked as an actress also, and I got a couple roles on TV shows. One of the roles I got was on Arrested Development, and the director of that show is Rebecca Asher. Wonderful director, but she did script supervising, and she kind of took me under her wing and worked with me and taught me about script supervising and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, gosh, I would love to direct, and I would love to, because she moved up to that level from script supervising to directing. So I kept thinking, gosh, I could do this. I think I know everything. I've been in this business long enough, and it was after quite a few years of doing stand-in work and doing acting that I was on set standing in with my crew, and the DP and the lighting technician, they're trying to figure out where to put the cameras, where to put the lights, and they were really confused. And I was like, guys, the camera goes here, the lights go there. It was very simple to me. It was very clear.
It was natural for you to take charge.
And they were just like, oh, she's right. And the director of photography took me aside later and said, why are you standing in still? You've outgrown this job a long time ago. Why are you not doing your own directing? And I had just directed my first short prior to that, and I said, you know what, you're right. I'm good at directing. I enjoy it. I think I've outgrown this job, and that's when I stopped doing that. I started, and I did my feature film, Who Is Billy Bones. But my very first directing job was something that I wrote. It's called Another Day, Another Dime. It's a dark comedy.
Always the best.
Always a fan.
So this is my first directing, and I wrote it, directed it, I actually acted in it. That ended up getting sold to Shorts HD channel, and that had a good airplay for quite a while, and they had a lot of success at film festivals, won some awards. So that kind of gave me the confidence too, and I said, okay, well that did really well. I'm gonna try.
What next?
Yeah, what can I do next? So I had this friend who knew this guy, Billy Bones. Now he's this guy who's in his 60s. He's this rocker. When you see him, he looks punk rock, he's an older gentleman, and it looks kind of strange when you see someone of that age really all pumped out and everything. Well, he's such an inspiration, this guy, because he never gave up on his dream. He's constantly pursuing it, and he still believes, and I believe, that he's going to be a success one day. So
I would argue that he's found his success later in life. Now he's found the right group, and they're out there performing in that all the time.
And that's kind of what the documentary is about. It's not so much about him as a performer as it is just his whole story, how he's not giving up, and how he's, inspiring young people to go after their dreams. And so that documentary did very well also. That got sold to KCET and Link TV. And that was aired nationwide for about probably 2 years. Can
everybody watch it from that link you sent me?
Yes, it's still on the Link TV website. So just go to Link TV.
So real quick, some of the backstory here on Billy Bones. Yeah. One of the parts that I found the most amazing of the documentary was when he went back in the basement after all those years. The place where they were doing all the practice, the rehearsals, and hanging out, partying as young kids on Hollywood Boulevard, and then came back there years later with you and the camera crew, and was looking around. Now it's like a storage basement and junk all over the place, and he's having flashbacks of when the things were written on the walls and all that stuff that kind of happened over the years. It was really, really cool seeing him.
That was the best part of the film.
And then he sees what he wrote.
Yeah, because all the graffiti was still there.
Yeah.
Like in 77, 78, this place was a rehearsal hall. And it's where like the Go-Go's and all these people got started. But it was only there for a short time. But it was just like the coolest place, and people are still talking about it today. Yeah. But yeah, so store space, it's got all these junk boxes.
It's just a basement in Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah, but all the graffiti is all on the wall. And he found all the graffiti that he wrote, and he was just like, wow, 30-some years later, I'm here looking at this stuff. And it was really awesome.
So I think this was kind of passed over a little bit in the documentary, but the question I have is, so that kid that's in his band now, this dude just showed up at his door one day. He was kind of connected through, like, his sister was a friend of somebody else, and they were all kind of, and he's just like, hey man, I grew up listening to your music. I want to jam with you, and they just got the band back together.
Well, he had a band already, and they were doing well and all.
So they folded Billy into their lead singer of it.
Well, he actually did it like a second band. So he had 2 bands going at the time, and Billy Bones wasn't interested at the time. He was just like, I'm raising a family, and I'm not interested anymore. He kind of gave it up for a little bit. Well, they asked him on stage and to do one of his songs when he was there just as an audience member, and he got up on stage, and he was just like, okay. And people went crazy for him, and he was like, this is what I've been missing in my life. I need to get this back again. And then that's the whole thing started, where he started pursuing it again.
I related a little too much to him when he was so pissed off and so let down and so disappointed by the fact somebody else took his song, went on, had a whole bunch of success, and that betrayal just disenfranchised him from his music career and the passion of all it for so many years. And then this kid comes along and just wakes the whole dragon up all over again.
But that's it with any business. It's especially the entertainment business. You get frustrated by things, and sometimes you need to take a break from it. Yeah. Step away, and then you can come back stronger.
But it's got to be so hard though, watching somebody go on a successful trajectory that your work, your talent, your ability spark that upward trajectory, yet you're still over here.
Wasn't it also the name of the band too? They just took everything, didn't he? Because he said, you're not using it, so I'm just going to use it. And just
70s.
It's crazy, man. That's crazy.
And if you don't have contracts and everything written out, people can just steal ideas, and that's why it's always important to get your little legal work.
We're going to talk about smart contracts in a little bit.
Oh, see, I don't know too much about that. You're going to.
I'm going to share you on smart contracts. That's the key to making a brighter tomorrow in Hollywood. Is a lot of the technology that's coming out with like blockchain, smart contracts, all of the things that those things can do are designed to get rid of all that shady stuff that goes on in the middle between the artist and the audience.
Right.
So what I want to really get into for a good chunk of our time is Plastic Daydream. How did that come along? How did that process work? When did you guys shoot that, and where's it going right now?
Okay, so this is my latest film. I wrote, directed, and had a small part in it. Because I don't like to...
You were the doctor.
I was the doctor, yes. I played the doctor. It's starring Sherry Belafonte, the amazing Sherry Belafonte. Cash Hovey is in it. We had an incredible crew. The story is about a woman who's in her 60s, and she has body dysmorphic disorder. And if you're not familiar with that, it's about when you look in the mirror, you don't see reality, you see something bad, something hideous. Like a lot of people think that they're very overweight, even though they may be very thin, that type of thing. So this woman, she becomes addicted to plastic surgery because she looks in the mirror, she just hates what she sees. It's a hideous monster.
Do we see in the movie what she sees, she thinks of herself?
Yes, we do. We have a makeup artist named Christina Yu, and she's amazing. Because Sherry Belafonte has just gorgeous bone structure, it's hard to make this woman look hideous, right? So this woman really worked long and hard on her to make her look really, really bad. So we got to see at one point what she sees. And yeah, it's not good. So she's addicted to plastic surgery because that lifts her up temporarily, makes her feel better. So, but she has health problems, and 2 doctors have told her, ethical doctors have told her, no, this is not going to happen. No more plastic surgery. You can't go under anesthesia. And she's devastated. Well, what am I going to do now?
So she doctor shops?
So she finds some character with good intentions, played by Cash Hovey, and some things happen.
Is this a basement plastic surgery job? Kind of like how they did with the original Joker?
But it is a very interesting, exciting ending, so...
Well, I know making movies in general is very exciting. And a lot of things happen, a lot of crazy things sometimes. Did you have like maybe a good or a bad experience on that particular set? Did you see anything that you can think of, like, oh, it was great, like Sherry did this, or it was wonderful? Do you have anything that you could share?
Oh, I have so many experiences on this set. Yes, well, first of all, I have a producing crew. Agora Hills, it was a doctor's office, it was a dermatologist's office. We switched to plastic surgery.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was gorgeous. The outside area is just like up on a hill, and you just see
that's a nice area.
Vast area. So anyway, so some of the experiences I had were, well, some people were late to set the first day, some very important people, so we had to wait quite a few hours before we start.
Hurry up and wait.
So it was one of those things where people were stressed out and all that, but it's
of course, it's day one too, where everyone's got the tuners, wants to get started, all that.
Yeah, so my specialty, I think, in directing is problem solving, and
that's where the best creativity gets to come out.
Yeah, and it's fine if things don't work out, we switch it. So I had no problem. Fine, we'll wait. We'll just shoot faster, and I just need a couple takes and I'm good. So some people are like, they take after take after take. I'm not that person.
Yeah.
I know what I like. When I get something good, okay, fine, one more and we're done.
It's the way to go.
Move on. So some of the great experiences were Sherry's acting. I knew she was a good actress. I just didn't know how incredible she was.
So you see it firsthand right there.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful performance. So I didn't really have to direct her. So she made my job really, really easy. I just kind of sat back and was like, perfect. Every take was perfect, Really, I tweaked a couple little things, and she was so good. But she is also the executive producer of the film. So we talked a lot, and we went out to dinners, and we discussed that character in depth. So she knew exactly.
Did you write it for her? Did you know going in?
I did not write it for her, no. But we did change things to suit her, to just little things here and there about who she is and what her personality is.
How'd you guys get her onto the project? What was that process like?
One of our producers and the actor, Cash Hovey, was friends
Cash
with
guy
her.
Sounds like a good guy.
He's a good guy. He's one of the people. Drew Milford is another one. These are producers that I work with. Great team of people that support each other. Like important. What we were talking about.
Very important, yes.
So anyway, so he works with her and knows her, and he had mentioned that we were doing a film about a woman who's in her 60s. And she said, okay, well, I'm curious to read it. She read it and she was like, I really want to do this. And that for me was like, yes,
that's the dream.
Thank you. So she just like, well, can we make a couple of changes here and there? Absolutely.
So when can we see Plastic Daydream?
Okay, so Plastic Daydream is going to be screening at, make sure I say this right, Film Fest LA at LA Live, and that's November 10th. Then, but that's not the premiere. We are going to have a premiere before that at a bigger film festival, and I'm not going to tell you which one because we don't have the okay to say it right now, but it will probably be at the beginning of October.
Nice. So,
well, let me just say, please follow Plastic Daydream on Instagram and follow Kathy Kolla and all the social media, and we will have good news and let you know what's going on with the film.
If all is going well with our live stream, Kathy Kolla's Twitter account is right here. If all's going
Hopefully.
No.
Now, how did you get that project off the ground? Was it something that happened during the Billy Bones project that opened the door, led the path to getting that one made? What was the seed that really got that thing kicked into overdrive?
Probably Sherry wanting to do it. That was the main thing. Having a name person.
Yeah, well, that definitely helps.
Okay,
yeah. Is it an ensemble cast? Is it mostly just a couple actors?
It's mostly about Sherry. It's mostly about her struggles and the people that she comes across.
Okay. What genre would you classify it as?
It's a drama. Some people are comparing it to like Wayward Pines. Do you remember that TV show?
I remember
it's
it,
a
but I
little disturbing,
haven't seen much of it.
So I don't know if there's a little bit of disturbing aspect to it, but it's kind of quirky, but it's a beautiful story. Beautiful.
Nice. I'm pretty excited to see it.
Yeah.
So let's get into the big topic, Kathy.
Yeah.
Your experiences in Hollywood, kind of what you've seen over the years. Mm-hmm. Luckily, from our kind of pre-show talks and things like that, it sounds like you've dodged a lot of bullets on bad experiences, predatory behavior, things like that. What kind of positive things can you tell us about that you've seen along the way from your time in Hollywood that maybe this situation could have went south real fast, but there was somebody with a strong moral code and a strong integrity there to right the ship before there was a MeToo moment?
Right. So, I mean, I've seen things like being on set. There was one incident where we were shooting a pilot and there was a very young girl, I would say maybe 19. She had to be in the pool at night naked. So she wore like some nude bottoms and she was topless. But they made sure they cleared the set. They did everything proper. But when she was in the water, we heard her screaming. And we said, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she said, there's someone, a crew member in the bushes watching me. And there was a crew guy sitting there.
Was it?
Someone in their 40s, 50s, watching this young girl. So they got rid of him. They did everything proper. But you think about things like this, when we're in this business, we're dealing with, the storyline could be sex, it could be, whatever. And it's hard to, I guess, for some people to say, hey, this isn't reality, even though we're talking about sex or there's lovemaking in this scene. This is just for the art. We're not, it doesn't mean you can talk about that on set and you can do these things.
Where's the risk reward though for a crew person like that? Like, I'm guessing this is probably a union project, right?
It's a union project, absolutely.
So they're probably making a couple $100 a day as a crew person.
Well, they weren't asked back, so they lost their job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They tarnished their reputation. Right, they lost their job. All to hide in the bushes for a few seconds and cop some eyeballs on a 19-year-old. Like, as somebody in the industry, how many times have you probably seen a naked woman on set? Yeah. And this is still like Pervy Peter time?
Yeah, that trade-off is horrible. He clearly didn't think of what was going to happen. And he got what was coming to him.
He probably didn't think he would get caught. He probably thought no big deal.
Well, I'm glad he did, because people like that deserve it. What's the point?
I find that people in the entertainment industry, they don't really take these sexual harassment workshops and things like that seriously.
Because the rules don't apply to them.
If you work on a set, like for these big studios, once a year they have these workshops. And it's mandatory. If you work on a set, you have to go. And I always find that after that is when the jokes start. As soon as that is done, there's this inappropriate, and they would say all these funny jokes and stuff, and all that wasn't there before the workshop.
Yeah.
So it's like, do these people really learn anything from this workshop?
Well, I think they think the whole accountability aspect of it is a joke. Well, this doesn't apply to me. I know this, so let's make fun of it and all of that. I don't know. Did you see the article from Sharon Waxman?
I did, yes. Where they're saying it's no fun anymore?
Yeah, she was talking about there's two conversations going on in the industry. The first conversation is that MeToo hasn't had enough collateral damage yet. We haven't taken down enough people. And the other side of it is that there's a whisper conversation going on in the industry amongst the guys that Hollywood is no fun anymore. Why? Because you can't rape and pillage everybody? How is it no fun anymore simply because you have to be a decent human being?
Well, I think it's not any fun anymore for people that are predators. Absolutely. So for regular,
living in a little bit of fear,
people
like everybody underneath them?
I think it's very fun to know that you're working in a safe environment? How fun is that?
So fun. I've spent about 10 years trying to build a safe environment because like we got our first film made and we went through the gauntlet with it. There was a lot of shady things, both in the way Hollywood dealt with us, the things they asked us to do. And here's a huge misconception that I think people are lost in when dealing with Hollywood. Like the MeToo stuff, the sexual predation, that stuff's rampant for sure. But it's only a minority of the predatory behavior that goes on in this town. Between the financial ways that people are preying on each other, the reputation ways, the leverage, all of these different power moves that are pushed over people just because they can a lot of times. Like when our first movie was done, we had a Grindstone. I'll say their name. I don't give a shit. I've got the email to prove it. Grindstone sent us an email and said that they wanted to buy our movie. How much you want for it, whatever. So we emailed them back and we simply told them that we wanted enough to pay all of our friends and family back in Buffalo. They came out of pocket, they made this movie happen, we just want enough to pay them back. And I got this email back from the guy, and I won't say his name, but I remember it right off the tip of my tongue. And he went on this rant and lecture. The exact words were neophyte filmmaker, yada, 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 you don't know how the industry works, let me tell you how the industry works. And he went on to explain in writing how I should sell out all my family and friends. They'll write it off because they were fools and invested in a first-time filmmaker anyway, so they knew they were going to lose their money. You won't make money on this project, but we will, and you'll pay your dues, and then you'll go on and make a bunch of other films and launch your career, and that's how you can make all your money and pay your family back someday.
So he's telling you this is how the business works?
Yeah, this is how it works.
So, okay.
But the irony is, so I told him to go fly a kite. Like, I don't know who the fuck you're used to talking to, but it ain't me.
If you tell enough people this, some people are going to say, oh, that's how it goes, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, because they're used to dealing with people that are just happy to be at the table. They don't know their own value. And you really start leaving yourself vulnerable when you look for the established industry to validate your success. Now you need them to be successful. That's when they've got you by the balls and you're willing to do whatever it takes for it. But I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, there's no way I'll sell this stuff out of a trunk of my car before I'm selling out my family and friends.
Yeah, but what do you consider success? I mean, some people.
Well, that's the key to it. Is if you define your success by validation from the industry. Then you're heading down a real bad path, and somebody else is always going to hold power over you.
Exactly.
But the irony was, a year later, a different sales agent had taken our film back to the film market and all of that, and ended up talking to somebody else that knew of our film, knew of it the year before when we were talking to them, and they're like, oh yeah. The only reason Grindstone wanted The Perfect House is because they were coming out with a movie called The Perfect Host around the same time of year, and the producers just wanted, they wanted to scoop it up, put it on the shelf, never to be heard from again. So he was trying to bully me into it. He was trying to talk us down, trying to sell us on the dream of you'll go on to make all these big movies, but they were just thrown on the shelf and never been heard from again. Now, we learned a whole bunch of other stuff about the distribution industry, and that film ended up being a huge learning experience for us. But had we gone down that road, nobody would have ever had the chance to see the film.
Where is the film now?
It's on Gravitas and Wild Eye have the VOD releasing and the DVD rights. It got piecemealed and mishmashed, and again, this was all the learning experiences that led to why we wanted to build Gratwick, why we want to own our own distribution company, why we want to handle our own marketing in-house, because of all the ways this project was fumbled. On the distribution side alone, if we weren't chasing down the royalty checks every single quarter, they weren't coming. And then even when they did come, you don't know those numbers. You have no idea on all of that stuff. And eventually they just stop coming one day, and you can keep hunting them down and all of that. But it becomes more time, energy, and resources to hunt down a $50 check, a $100 check, than it is to get in there. So it was, for us, an eye-opening and inspirational learning curve of, listen, if we're going to make movies in a responsible way and we're going to keep asking friends and family to invest in these type of things, it needs to be a smart investment. It needs to be a proper structure where everyone's treated fairly, everyone's money's accounted for properly, and there's nobody between us and the revenue stream. Because that's where they get you. It's called Hollywood math. And everybody in this town has to pay somebody else their royalties on all of that. And it trickles down. The sales agent will get it from Google and Amazon, but Google and Amazon will take 30% before it even shows up to the sales agent. The sales agent will take 20%. If you're lucky, maybe 10%, 15%. And then it comes to you, if you're lucky, then you have to pay the investors. And everybody's given funny numbers at each step of that path. And there's a whole lot of skimming that's going on in that whole process. And this is where, when we were talking about earlier, that I believe the blockchain and smart contracts can solve all of that.
So now you started this Gratwick Productions, and it's going to be like an audience-driven type of thing where they can pick the director, they can pick the actors, and they can be part of it if they invest a certain amount of money or
yes, you've got the sweeping motions right. But so Gratcast Productions is going to exist to handle the marketing, finance, and distribution for the modern artist. It's the goal is for it to be a turnkey operation. So what I call the Kanye West generation of artists, the responsibility to your creation doesn't begin and end with production. You want to have a say in how it's marketed, how it's presented to the audience, how the business is done, and all that. You'd like to actually see honest and fair numbers with all of that.
No, it's smart what you're doing. I
applaud
you.
So we wanted that for ourselves and our own sanity and existence in the entertainment industry, so we could make the films that we want without selling our soul to do it.
And you want to offer it to us.
Yeah, if we need that whole infrastructure to exist, you need that infrastructure to exist, Cash needs that infrastructure to exist, everybody else needs that infrastructure to exist there. So if we work together and build it so it's there, it exists now.
So has a film been made?
Through the corporation, no. The corporation has been...
It's fairly new.
Yes, we only incorporated about a year ago. We had to start getting the ducks in a row and lining up so we could eventually do a WeFunder campaign. And we're following basically in the footsteps of a corporation like Legion M.
Okay, what is the most that you can get from a WeFunder?
So legally, all right, so to explain this correctly, we have to take a step back. The Jobs Act's changed in the past year or two. The Jobs Act changed to where now, instead of just doing crowdfunding, where you give us $20 to make a movie, I give you a shitty t-shirt, and hopefully I make that movie, but if I don't, you've got no recourse or action. The laws have changed now where people can actually help raise money for startups and small businesses and that by having micro investments. Previously, if I wanted to invest $100 into a small business or a corporation, I had to be an accredited investor, which I'm sure you know what that means, but for the audience, an accredited investor has to earn at least $250,000 a year to be able to make their own decisions on what they invest their money in.
So if people are, say, giving $100 or something like that, instead of getting a crappy t-shirt, they actually are investing in something.
Yes, it's kind of like a penny stocks for small businesses and startups and all of that. But legally, the first time you raise money through a crowdfund equity campaign, the most you can raise is up to $1 million.
That's great.
So we're gonna be talking about that a little in between the two sections, but that $1 million that we're looking to raise is gonna be used to finance 3 or 4 different projects.
Absolutely.
We'll handle the marketing, the distribution, and the financing for the project. The creator can use us as a turnkey infrastructure. They can oversee their entire marketing of their project, but have a professional infrastructure of marketing people and all of that underneath them. So they're kind of a temporary CMO for all intents and purposes, but they're the one guiding their marketing vision. On the distribution side, we'll present a plan, and this is how we think we can market it, and it'll be a hybrid of both self-distribution and traditional distribution, with a goal towards each creator we work with, grooming their audience little by little to expect to buy their content through the blockchain, through direct purchases where you as the filmmaker, you sell your film for $7.99 on Amazon or iTunes, you still have to push all the traffic to Amazon and iTunes. They're getting 30% of that, and by the time you see your royalties, you're getting maybe $1, $1.50 off of each sale and transaction. But if you do it through the blockchain, the audience has the exact same technology tools, buy, click, download, watch, all of the same abilities there, but now they can buy it for $5. And it's $3 cheaper, and you get the entire $5 off of that immediately when the transaction happens. Not at the end of the quarter when some third-party person reports to another third-party person, and that person reports back to you. So the goal of Gratcast Productions is to lean on traditional distribution in the early stages, but start growing and teaching the audience there's better tools, there's better technology available that's more beneficial to the artist and cheaper, and the same technology to the consumer. And once that bridge is gapped there, we can start getting rid of a whole lot of middlemen that are just gumming up the industry.
Now, do you have a team of people that specialize in different aspects of this, or?
We've got the executive team in place right now.
You do, okay.
So we've got the leadership core in place, but as far as
then you just hire people underneath.
It's going to be a kind of a collective. All the different people that we work with, all the different people that we work with on our projects and all of that, those are going to be the people that we turn to and go to for different projects, the marketing and all of this. So it's a 21st century studio in the sense that all the things that Warner Brothers and Universal and all that can offer, we'll be able to offer all of those things without the brick and mortar real estate that you have a whole lot of overhead for and expenses with all of those type of things. And the goal is to keep all of that work, all of that infrastructure under the umbrella, so everybody's working, everybody has a creative outlet, everybody has the ability to develop what projects they want to develop in there. And with the whole thing being a transparent studio, we want to give live stream access to everybody so they can help hold us accountable. It's real hard, like if you're live streaming an audition, it's real hard to pull a casting couch move if everyone's watching.
Exactly.
So little by little, these are the ways where we feel like we can start setting the bar of expectations.
Doesn't have a say in it, and who?
Oh yeah, they will.
Do?
So what we're creating is what we're going to call is the new A-list, and the A is going to stand for the audience, the artist, and accountability. And for $100 or more, once people invest into our WeFunder page, they can become an A-list member of Gratwick. And with that, they'll get exclusive access to any production we have. It's going to have a live stream audition. It's going to have live stream creative meetings. It's going to have a live stream set. At the end of each set, there's going to be a wrap-up show, kind of like The Talking Dead, where people can ask the DP, the lead actor, any kind of questions about what they saw going on set each day.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and all of this is going to be part of the marketing plan, where you can set up all sorts of different funnels to start getting people the opportunity to either pre-order something, invest in the corporation, support all of this different stuff, or the biggest advantage here, I'm sure you've run into this as an indie filmmaker, release dates. If you or I make our film and we go through the traditional distribution method, we might find out a month, 2 months beforehand when that film's going to be released. Warner Brothers goes into a production on a movie, they know a year and a half when that's going to show up on the calendar and the date. How much more marketing can you do when you know a year and a half when your film's going to be released? So by having all of this stuff in-house under the same banner, we can structure all of this stuff with the marketing, the production, and the distribution to be completely in line and in sync. So the marketing starts when pre-production starts. The sales and distribution starts when production starts. All of that stuff is created with all of that. And then with that, you can do all sorts of customizations. DVD sales are going down. Nobody wants to buy DVD sales.
Buys DVDs.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
So you know how you fix that? You make it an experience. You allow people to pre-order their DVDs with different kind of customized backgrounds, sets, bonus features. All the different stuff that comes on that DVD is personalized to them. So now it's a collector's item versus just another disc on the shelf. These are all paths where we can start putting a better infrastructure in place that just leads to more accountability, more transparency, and a fair way of doing business for up and down the pipeline.
Well, I like your intentions. They're definitely positive. And you know what you're talking about. That's good.
It's been a lot of firsthand experiences.
So is all your idea, or is that a collective thing?
It's been an evolution. I would never take full credit for anything and all of that, because even just talking to other people about these different ideas and that, they've added a piece to it here and a piece to it there.
So you're part of this too, right, John?
Yeah, that's as quiet as I am over here, like a turtle over here.
I know you're there.
I am definitely here.
But yeah, the whole thing has been an evolution. It started as how do we get this contained thriller made about a Hollywood whistleblower that Hollywood's not going to want to ever see made. So how do we get this movie made? Well, we've got to build the entire infrastructure around this movie to get this movie made, so it can't be compromised at every step of the way. Because if the marketing's compromised, they're not going to sell the movie the way it needs to be sold about a Hollywood whistleblower. They're going to sell it in a way that makes Hollywood look the best.
Exactly.
If the financing's messed up and you've got one single source that is a big rich power player putting up the money and writing the check, they've got a lot of leverage now. They can call a lot of shots. But when you're financed by the audience and the crowd, not only do you have a mob mindset that can hold you accountable for all your actions, all your promises, all your commitments, but you don't have a single source that can put their finger on the scale and say, this is my money, I put up all of this is how it's going to happen, I want the lead actress. That stuff just can't exist anymore when you remove all of those gear turns that control the industry as it stands now.
Yeah, transparency is good because there's too many secrets in Hollywood, as we know. They're all coming out.
Secrets and collusion is what this town has been built on and run off of so long.
Right.
But all of the money that exists in the industry, there was an article that came out last week about the music industry. 12% of $43 billion in 2017 went to the actual artists.
Yeah.
How much of that is going to the handlers, the middle people, all the people that have made themselves essential to the process that are completely obsolete and irrelevant now that technology has come in and replaced all of that? Let's talk smart contracts.
Okay,
imagine you're putting your next film project together, and your lead actor, you've promised a percentage of the film to come in there, be on the film, all of that. Now, the lead actor could either hope that they're going to get paid properly, and you're going to report your royalties and all of those different things for them. Or if you've started building your infrastructure, and let's say we're 5 years down the road now where the audience is used to and accustomed to buying direct distribution through a distribution portal that is branded to look like a company distribution portal, but it's running off the blockchain. You can now issue smart contracts with that. So your lead actor, let's say they're supposed to get 3% of the movie, whatever it does or whatever that. You can structure your smart contract into the blockchain. So the second somebody watches and buys the movie, the royalty goes to the actor right away. They don't have to collect from anybody. They don't have to chase anybody down. They don't have to worry they're getting ripped off.
It's kind of like Bitcoin or whatever?
Bitcoin is one of the currencies that run through the blockchain and all of that different stuff. But yeah, cryptocurrency is the key to Hollywood independence. It's the key to controlling your entire career and where it goes, because you control the revenue stream then. You get 100% of what you get. You can put that back into what you're doing. You can start building your smart contracts where, well, one of the things that we want to do at Gratwick is every single person, whether it's the PA, the script supervisor, the craft services, we want everybody to have a little piece of the project. We want them to be able to call it their project. In order to do that, it
helps for people to be more passionate about the project.
Exactly.
And do a better job also if they own part of it.
Mercenaries. I'm sure you know all about mercenaries in Hollywood. The people that they just want the paycheck. It doesn't matter the script, the project, one project to the next.
Right, exactly.
But if they have ownership in it, they have say. And now again, we're working with all the same people on project to project overall underneath this whole umbrella. So if each project they're a part of, they get a little piece, a little equity on all of that, that adds up. That collects all together with that. And if it's all started to get little by little structured through these smart contracts and blockchains, nobody has to worry about somebody else controlling their money or what they're entitled to. It's automatically handled, it's automatically distributed, and then when you start talking about fair contracts and actresses getting paid the same as actors, smart contracts are all public, open source information. I know what the lead actress got in that last contract, and she's not going to take less than that. She's probably going to want a little more than that to keep moving upwards on that. I know what the lead actor got in the project over here.
Right.
So it
can't be like, you're getting the woman is getting paid so much less than the man, but she doesn't know.
All of that stuff becomes completely transparent.
Right. Very good. Wow. I'm impressed.
It's been a complete evolution. It's been such a learning curve over the 8 years going through all of this, what we did wrong, all of those different steps, how to not make those same steps again. And a lot of this, the technology wasn't there. We tried to be the first movie to release on Facebook in 2011.
Really?
A lot of these ideas were in the foundation of that, and had that movie been successful on Facebook like it was positioned to be, a lot of these things would have already existed and being done and adopted in the industry by now. But still, 7 years later, they haven't caught up to a lot of the things that are there. But through that whole failure, that whole experience of learning all of those things, it just inspired one thing to the next. The technology had to catch up. In a lot of ways, the culture had to catch up. When we made The Perfect House, I wanted to tell people the whole story. I was committed to this transparency thing. John knows right from the get-go on all of this.
Right away.
But legally, you weren't supposed to, right?
It wasn't more legally. It was people weren't ready to hear the whole truth. Because most people, when they're transparent, they share all the good stuff. This happened today with the project. We're going to celebrate this, but they don't want to share this, like this went wrong. This person didn't do something they said they were going to do, or this company lied to us and held our project hostage for 6 months and tried to do a backdoor negotiation deal with another producer to basically take ownership of our film out from under us because we waited too long to hold them accountable to the fact they missed their contract deadlines.
Well, it's human nature to not want to hear negative stuff. I think people they want to see pretty images. They want to, hear positive things. That's why a lot of people, they don't want to become inundated with the news and stuff like that. They just want to read the headlines.
But you can only sweep things under the rug so long before the rug is 7 feet off the ground.
And there's no growth. If you don't experience it, how can you grow? You can't become better, or you can, but it's got to be so much more difficult. You face those tough things, you rise from the ashes, and you're a stronger person for it. And you can move forward, and you can contribute and give to other people as well. I think you have to go through these tough times. To struggles and everything else.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what makes you strong, right?
Exactly.
And this is why we're at a window now where Hollywood's ready for a culture change.
Hollywood's ready for a change.
We were screaming for 10 years.
Changing, for sure.
You wouldn't believe the meetings I had. There were so many different doors that were open and all of this. So we're talking to people about this whole model, and there was one of two things. Either one, they couldn't see far enough into the future to see where things were going, or two, the light went off and they got it, and they immediately saw it as a threat.
That's right.
They saw it as a threat to how they were making money, how the process was going, the control they had, and how this would bring accountability that would make the industry no fun anymore. But yeah, so 10 years down this road now, the technology has come about. It's in a much better position. Cryptocurrency has emerged. That's not going to sound good. Cryptocurrency has emerged. You've got the culture change where Hollywood has woken up and realized that we need to do something here. We need to start cleaning the skeletons out of the closet, and we need to go from MeToo to NoMore. And at the same time, the laws have changed to where now an audience actually can invest in a studio. So it's a perfect storm of events that are coming together to create this opportunity.
Well, it's a step in the right direction for sure, because Hollywood is not going to change overnight. We know that. No. It's going to take a long time, but I think this is the beginning. This is the start of something. So I applaud you for doing all this work and trying to make a difference.
Well, we're hoping Gratwick will exist so we can finance some Kathy Kolla productions. We can get cash, some more opportunities.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah,
do you have a film that you're ready to make?
Oh, that's
you probably have a whole list of them.
So the key element of this entire studio, what we're hoping is the spinal cord that can help us make all of this work is. For the last 10 years, all of this behind the scenes, I've been also developing an expanded universe of content. But it's not a superhero expanded universe, it's not a Space Wars and all of these other things. It's grounded in an alternate reality to our own, where the stories that are told within this universe are stories of extreme social accountability. The justice in that world that we wish we could see in this world, where the heroes are regular everyday people, you and I.
So it's kind of what you're going through, but just amplified.
Very much so. Very much art-inspiring art and life-inspiring art and the whole cycle of all of that. But the beauty of it is, by creating this type of expanded universe, not only will it be an alternative to the looming superhero fatigue, but any genre can play in this world. Okay. You can tell a love story, a romantic comedy, a horror movie, a sci-fi. All of it can play in there as long as you follow the rules of the universe that's been laid out before it. So there's no genre restrictions. Every story doesn't have to have a superhero running around.
It's just kind of a theme.
It's centered around the themes of extreme social accountability. Okay. But the goal is for this expanded universe to be the cash cow of the corporation that gives us the revenue and the income to put back into so many other artists and to support all of this other stuff and all of that. So we can create this entire army of creators that call their own shots and all of that, and we're just providing the support and the infrastructure for them.
So you're going to be the next big deal. I'm so happy I'm on the show.
It's not about any one individual being the next big deal. It's about creating the movement and all of that. And that's where we're struggling, is because we don't want a face of this movement. We want Gratwick to be family and friends and everybody that's in this together, and not all about Chris, not all about Chris's movies and any of that stuff. And that's the hardest part, because that traditional marketing, they want their easy package slogans. They want their face of the movement and all of that type of stuff. And it's just a very hard dynamic to navigate and stay committed to what we stand for and the whole reason this exists, which is we just want to make movies where we don't have to worry about people taking advantage of us and selling our souls to do it.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of the answer to the question of tonight, is how can we change MeToo movement to NoMore? Is you're taking the first step with the Gratwick Productions, I think. That's one of the steps that we can take.
That's what we're hoping is the hashtag we've been using a lot lately is set the expectation.
Absolutely.
We're hoping by the simple existence of a company like this, it'll create an alternative or an option. So the true A-listers in Hollywood, the big names with all the power and all of that, they may not come running to Gratwick and say, I want to be in Gratwick movies because they're taking care of people and they're treating everybody right. But they may go and negotiate in their next deal in CAA or whatever it is with the production company they're working with. Hey, if you don't start adopting some of these kind of commitments, some of these policies and all of that, I'm going to go work with Gratwick. They're probably not going to. Maybe by the next couple of years we'll be big enough where they will, but immediately they're not going to go work with a small up-and-comer, but they can use us as leverage. They can use us as a threat that, listen, you need to start cleaning up your act because they're coming for you. The 21st century is coming for you. And there's a lot of other people that are positioning themselves to follow right in these footsteps.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could be an example, not not only to the big Hollywood stars and all, you can be an example to up-and-comers. You know, these new production companies that are starting out, or these directors and people that are just starting out, you can be an example to them.
That's the hope, is that there's going to be a certain segment where they're not going to be able, or they're not going to want to go and build their entire self-sustainable ecosystem. That's what we're here to support. We've built it for ourselves. We're happy to share it with projects and people that we believe in that share our goals and visions. But at the same time, we're not going to hoard this information. We're not going to keep it secret. We want other people to make this same exact model successful. There's nothing proprietary about live streaming your set, your production. Take that idea, run with that idea. The characters we're going to have on our set making our production is what's going to make that live stream entertaining and vibrant and something they want to watch. The characters that are making your production and your show should make your live stream as interesting as possible.
There's something to be said, though, about some type of privacy, like as far as like me telling what the ending of the story is. I feel that if I just tell everything, if we just live stream the whole thing, who's going to want to go watch it? It's like I already know the whole story. The whole excitement is this great ending that I have that you wouldn't see coming and all that, so we keep it a secret. So, I mean, there is something to be said for some type of stuff.
Absolutely. There's going to be discretion used in the actual shooting of the actors and what's going on in that sense. There's two lines of thought here I have on this. So you can even just have the live stream camera on the craft services table.
That's true.
And the amount of interaction and things that go on there, and who's always coming over for another damn carrot the whole damn day. People will be fascinated with that type of stuff. But at the same time, I think we're at an existence where spoilers don't ruin anything anymore. I feel like the people that want the spoilers and want to know more about they're so excited about the content that's not going to stop them from watching it. And the people that don't like spoilers, they're just not going to expose themselves to it. Like we were talking about this with the script for Just Drive the other day. If I threw that script up online, the people that are going to read it, they're going to read it. And for the most part, most of them are probably going to want to see it more than they would have had they not read the script.
Right.
But the people that don't want to have a movie ruined, they're not going to put the effort forth into reading a script online. Oh, I'll wait for the movie to come out and all of that. So I don't think we're losing anything in this day and age by sharing and opening the whole book. I think people are fascinated about the creative process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because people don't even realize. I mean, I know people from Michigan, family and friends and stuff will say, I don't understand why to make just one 5-minute thing, it takes 3-4 days and it takes all these crew members. I don't understand. Like, they're confused.
So, you know what inspired the live stream idea?
No.
Have you ever seen one of these live streams of a construction site?
No,
so,
I don't say
I've seen different cities or whatever where they'll be building a new football stadium. And they'll put a live stream on the skyscraper next door, and it's just pointed at that building, and you can go there and you can watch the fucking bulldozers push dirt around and the building come together and all this happy horseshit.
Who has time to watch that?
But there's thousands of people that'll be watching the bulldozers push dirt around and see all that stuff going on. Shia LaBeouf did a live stream one time where for 20 hours straight, Shia LaBeouf watched his own movies. And the live stream was just on Shia LaBeouf watching Shia LaBeouf movies, and tens of thousands of people checked in to watch that live stream.
Wow.
Like,
I mean, I guess checking in for a little bit and then checking out. I mean, you wouldn't sit there and watch the whole entire thing.
Exactly.
Really
but if you give people substance and meat and value there, like they're already watching meaningless activities. Yeah. So if you give them some real substance and entertainment value there, they're going to be hooked like glue. Just imagine watching a whole set come together, and you saw this crazy setup for the shot, and then an hour later, the cinematographer is there on camera with a host interviewing them, and you can right there in the chat ask them a question about what they did on that setup and all that.
I'm telling you, I would be interested in watching a set, even though I know what goes on. I'd like to still watch.
It's so much better than these outtakes or the blooper reels that they put on DVDs and all of that, where it's after the fact. It's some inside joke you weren't there for. You don't know any of these people. But if I'm watching this whole project come together every single day, like a building being built, I'm getting to know who's working their asses off, who the slackers are, who the most passionate people are. Just like a reality show. You've got your villains, your heroes, the people you're rooting for.
Yeah, that's why people are so addicted to reality shows. Because they just love, even though that's scripted also, from what I hear.
The goal is to give people so much freaking access that when the movie comes out, it's a cherry on top to the entire experience they've already had for the past year of watching it come together. Right. The fact that movie's great just makes everything that much better.
So I have a question for you regarding like secrecy and all this kind of stuff. How do you feel about NDAs in the business? Now I know that an NDA to keep quiet about what's going on personally, so like that. Those are terrible.
That's a great
Those
question.
should not be signed. But what about an NDA for not telling the secret of the movie at the end or something like that?
I personally don't want to use them, and there's people on our team that recommend them, and we should in certain situations. So I get all of that,
okay.
But I feel strongly, and this isn't just the entertainment industry, I feel there should be some sort of law or regulation in place that you can't cover personal conduct in NDAs. You can cover business secrets, intellectual property, stuff like that. Right. But criminal behavior, secrets, all of that type of stuff that is designed to protect somebody's reputation from the actions they commit.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. That stuff should be completely out of bounds.
I also hear that people don't sue over breaking NDAs. Is that true also? Well, that they're just put in place just to encourage people to be quiet?
You could say about any contract, because every contract, especially in this industry, comes down to what type of protection can you actually afford? Can you actually afford to put this contract into action or enforce it or hold somebody accountable for breaking it? Right. Because most of the time, the person on the other side will know that you're a starving filmmaker.
And you're not going to hire a lawyer.
You don't have the money to get the big dog in there. You don't have any of the money to protect yourself, and you're left completely vulnerable from all of that, and they can do whatever they want.
Well, that reminds me of the Time's Up movement, where all these Hollywood celebrities, they put together this legal defense fund. I think in the first month it was like over 20 million to help the working class women that are being harassed and all that. Then they can't afford to hire a lawyer. They can't go on the public stage and tell their story and all this stuff. So, I mean, I find that a good thing. I think there's like 200 or so lawyers that donated their time.
Yeah, it's a good thing. The Time's Up part of the MeToo movement, though, has shady origin stories, shall we say?
Yes, I read some of the stories of the critics.
It was basically manufactured from the top of Hollywood to kind of take control of what they were quickly losing control of.
Right.
So, Kathy,
yes.
You were concerned that we weren't going to have enough time to talk, and we weren't going to get through everything, and we've kind of blown through our time here.
Okay.
We're running into the OT period. Do you have any last comments that you want to make about Plastic Daydream, about what's next for Kathy?
I'll tell you what, I am going to be making films till the day I die, because that is my passion. I absolutely love it. And please, 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 go to the Film Fest LA at LA Live, November 10th, to watch not only my first film, Another Day, Another Dime, but to watch Plastic Daydream. Sherry Belafonte, Cash Covey, Drew Milford, we're all in it.
Kathy, thank you so much for joining the show.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kathy.
Thank you.
I was a little quiet this whole segment. You guys dominated so much, I was just like, I'll just sit here and nod. Okay, looks good, sounds good.
Oh, thank you so much.
Of course, you're amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're amazing because you're from Michigan.
I know, you can't go wrong there.
Congratulations on both.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mwah, goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You didn't make her chug it.
All right, John. So we've got a few minutes here before we bring in Silver Padilla.
There you go.
And we're gonna piggyback off a little more about what Kathy was talking about, what we were talking about with the whole WeFunder campaign.
Okay.
So one of the big reasons that we're starting to do live Gratcast is we need to start talking more about what Gratwick's doing, where Gratwick's going, how we want to start changing the industry and helping people. And a big part of doing that is going to be raising the funds that we need to start making projects. We start doing the marketing, the advertising, the distribution of all of these things. And to do that, we cannot be controlled by a single financial entity. No matter how great the content we have is, no matter how great the company we're building is, if we go and take money from a single source, a handful of sources, they're going to control all the shots. They're going to control most of the equity in the company, and we're going to be working for them. So the only way that Gratwick can exist, the only way that this company is going to exist, is if our WeFunder campaign is successful.
That's right.
And the way we want to make this WeFunder campaign successful is we want to block out our $1 million that we can legally raise into 4 different projects that we're going to support in 4 different parts of the industry. And we're going to spread our wings all over the place right from the get-go. The first project is obviously the one we talked about. It's going to be Just Drive, the contained thriller about the Hollywood whistleblower. Then we've got extra slots in there. The second slot we're going to be talking to Silver about in Payday and what kind of exciting things we've all got lined up.
What about 3 and 4?
The third slot, we're looking to find an independent film, a contained thriller, a little horror movie, anything that can be made for under $250,000 that already has a community established, that people are already putting all the work in place to build this company or to get this project off the ground. Maybe it's somebody that is getting ready to crowdfund their film, and instead of asking for donations, you'd rather partner up with a corporation that's going to be able to provide you the marketing and the distribution that you need with that financing. Instead of begging for donations, come join us. Come join us and let's raise that money together for your project, my project, the series of tournaments we're going to be talking about here with Payday. And then the fourth slot, we want to find an up-and-coming recording artist. Somebody that has had local success in the music industry. Somebody that's ready to pop and blow on the national level, but they need some financial support. They need a killer music video. They need some new distribution for their music and their content. That's what we want to find for the fourth project.
Okay, that's 3.
That's 3. So the second block, the second stretch goal of the equity campaign is going to go for our partnership with Payday.gg. They're a social media and tournament platform. And before I screwed up anymore, let's get Silver up here to start talking about Payday and tell us what we got going on.
Get up here. Welcome, Silver. How are you today?
Thanks, man. John, nice to be here. Thank you. Chris.
Silver, welcome to Gratcast, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm excited to be here. So,
all right, so let's dive right in.
Yeah, for sure.
What is Payday and why does it exist?
So Payday is a social media tournament esports platform, and it was created to help the aspiring esports gamers to rockstar status. So the one thing is, I started back gaming. I mean, man, a pretty long time ago. But let's just
we're not going to get into that.
As
the first Madden?
No, much before that. I think,
please, Atari.
I think we were talking about Atari here in the 90s.
Yeah, we were.
So,
Choplifter. I used to love Choplifter.
Hey, listen, that's what we were talking about. Yeah. My uncle taking me to the first LAN event where there was Ataris everywhere with those big old monitors, and and that's the way it works. So and so now. I became a pro Halo player back in the days, and I love the competition. I love playing against other people, and I've gone from being a player to actually owning organizations, helping build different esports players, which now are in bigger organizations, making money, playing, doing what they love, and one of the things that I found through all, the course of that experience was the lack of fairness. So when you guys, your conversation here about how fair Hollywood is, you look at esports and you look at it as how fair that really is as well. And they correlate and they go with, hand on hand kind of deal. But the crazy thing is that we wanted to make sure that the pros weren't getting everything, we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just those guys with the names that that make themselves. Because then you're talking about Hollywood, how all the big guys are getting everything and the little guys are forgotten about. So we have that same taking that same course of action as Gratwick is, but on the esports side of things. So for us is how do we help these upcoming talent really be seen, and emerge into that bigger pool, or I should say into the smaller pool from, that I think is like 0.07% of gamers that make money playing,
Of course it is. Of course it's such a small amount. It couldn't be a bigger amount than that, could it?
It is. I mean, it is. And when you start looking at the market, it's like 2.2 billion gamers across the globe. All right, 2.2 billion gamers. That's a lot of gamers.
That's a lot of gamers.
And for you to take that 0.07%, that is crazy. That's the only amount of people that actually make money gaming.
Amazing.
So what year did you guys actually found Payday Gaming?
So technically, March of last year is when we LLC'd Payday, but we've been working on it from much before that.
So which one do you want to get into first, the social media aspect or the part that's my favorite, the technology side?
Well, I think they go hand in hand, to be honest with you. So we could start on the social media, why it was built, what is it going to do, and how it links back to the entire technology that Payday has. So when you start looking at the social media, one of the things, again, that we talked about is that you have to visit different websites right now. right? So everything's about, all right, you want to stream, you can either go on Twitch, go on Mixer, go on YouTube, Facebook Live, but again, you have to leave that, right? And then the other thing is that now you yourself have to do all that. You have to set up your own stream. Now, if you want people to know that you're streaming, now you have to market it, which is either tweeting it out,
build your own
sharing it on Facebook,
Instagram, any of that stuff.
Any of that stuff.
Sure.
So what we did, we said, you know what? We need to create a platform that you could interconnect all these and put them together where it makes it easier for anyone to market themselves. Doesn't matter if you're just starting or you're popular, a big influencer in the industry, what we call them, right? So with Payday's social media platform, it allows you to do that. You have your own My Team page, your own My Profile page. So basically you can share all your videos there.
So if I'm streaming from my Payday social media account, will that allow me to stream to all my other gaming accounts so I can just stream from one spot?
So the crazy thing is that there is everyone has a different way of communicating with the platform. So there is a program that people use to be able to do that and be able to stream into different avenues. So again, Mixer is one different platform, YouTube is another different platform, and then you got your Facebook Live, and again, you can't forget Twitch, right?
Yeah.
So what happens? There's a company that is called Restream.io that they created, where you're able to just put one stream key onto your OBS per se, and then you're able to stream through there into all your social medias. Well, what we can do is we take that embedded code off of Restream.io, you add that into the Payday profile, and then you have your streaming through there.
Oh, okay.
And we share your stream on your actual page itself. So this way you have your own website really within our site. No one else provides you your own type website page within anyone's website page.
Absolutely not.
They give you, create your user profile, and that's all you have.
Yeah.
So for us, we allow you to create your own website within our own website. You're able to put a header, however you want. Again, you're able to interconnect all your social medias and the feeds will appear. You're able to connect your YouTube so people could actually see your videos, and they find that all in one page.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is we talked about this obviously before. I'm such a huge fan of those videos that you make to help people on your site. I don't know if everyone's seen them, but you just scroll down to the bottom of the page and you can see featured videos. It tells you how to set up an account, maybe tells you how to, I know you have I didn't watch the whole thing, but you had a podcast. There was that podcast, a 48-minute. I watched a bit of that. But the videos are very helpful. Some people struggle. They're like, oh, I see this. I don't want to fill out this form. Like, what do I do? Even if it's difficult or not, they get frustrated. But to have a video show them how to do it, I think is very smart. And I think it just helps people, and it would be easier to get people to sign up and work on the site, I imagine, right?
So absolutely. I mean, we have a great guy called Sam. So I got to give credit to Sam. He helps us.
Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
Yes, you cash.
Right? That's it.
Keep saying Sam.
I know. So, but the cool thing behind him was that we needed something like that, because the everyday question when you're a new platform is, how do I sign up? So we wanted to make it as easy as possible for the sign-in process.
Right.
And our CTO continues to think about stuff, and including all the team, right? All the team is there, from our CMO to all of our staff. They're always thinking about how do we make it easier for that person that maybe lacks a little bit of technology knowledge on how to come in and sign in, right? So what we did was, well, let's help them. Right? We got to show them how to do it.
Yeah.
It's our site. No one knows it better than us. So let's go ahead and start making these how-to videos and show them how to sign up and then how to do different things. So you'll start seeing a lot more of those videos as well.
Do you guys have any videos on there about how to set up your whole streaming infrastructure and your ecosystem to put the best streams out?
So we have...
I've looked for those myself and can get a good solid universal answer.
Yeah. We could work on something like that, because a lot of our guys, we do have streamers on our platform, and they stream themselves. Every time they're gaming, they're streaming. Obviously, you mentioned the podcast, and stuff like that. So obviously, we have guys that have a lot of experience in it and doing that, right? So
it's great research.
One of those videos might be soon due. So hopefully, our guys watching there could take notes and make sure they put it there. But no, we don't show you how to set up your stream, but we do show you how to set up your social medias and everything else on our site. So this way, you don't miss out. The more exposure, the more marketing we do for you, the easier it becomes on you, the user itself.
So now, once I'm set up on there, I've got my profiles all connected, I'm streaming and all of those different things. 2 questions. 1, is there anything within the Payday gaming community that I can take part in and be and enter into? And 2, what happens for placement on all that? If I'm streaming and John's streaming, do I have to pay extra to have premium position and all that to get people to actually discover and find my channel? How does the placement and all of that work to get me an audience?
So we'll start moving into the technology portion of it here. So there was something, or I'm sorry, there is something on the website called the Battle Arena. Okay, so what that is every time you attach your Stream Avenue, doesn't matter what you use, and you play a tournament, so we go to your number 1. Yes, there's tournaments, so you're able to come in, play tournaments. As of right now, we're on Fortnite. So we're going to start moving into other genres and game types. We're actually working on some, partnerships that we'll be announcing on some new games that we're going to introduce to the platform. But in the meantime, we're still on Fortnite. So
I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you primarily do console or PC? Or?
We do all right now.
Okay.
So both console and PC.
Oh, excellent.
And then soon we're gonna that's one of the partnerships we're working on is for mobile.
Oh.
So we're gonna be incorporating mobile also into the platform. So, but to answer your question, Chris, so when in the Battle Arena, anytime you have a match, it's gonna show there. All the streams show up there. So people will go in there and see what types of matches are happening, and then your stream will pop up, and then it'll be you, John, versus you, Chris. And if you guys are both playing a match against each other, your stream will be there, your stream will be there.
Oh, so you'll have 2 screens. So one screen is Chris's perspective, and one screen is my perspective.
That is correct.
That's very interesting. That's real cool, man.
Correct. So what happens is that anyone that wants to watch either side, they can. So if they say, hey, let me go look at Chris. Let me go see what kind of skills he got. And they say, you know what, he's not good. Let me go over on this side of the house. And then say, man, he's good. Then that you start winning over audience, right?
Oh, okay.
So, but it's not just that. It's also being funny.
Sure.
Just so you know, right? So far,
thanks.
Chris has got it.
You gotta contribute a little bit, John.
So far, Chris has got it, man. Kind of like, all right, who's the gamer? Which side? So
I'm the gamer, bro.
So if I put you guys in the blender, I have the perfect streamer.
Probably,
funny
yeah.
and great at gaming, right?
So, I need to figure out how to get the other guy's audio in there because I'm only good when playing against somebody else and you're talking back and forth. But every time, for our Madden League, we tried to stream it all the time, and for whatever reason, it would only give us the person streaming's audio. We couldn't pull the audio in from the opposition.
So you'd only hear one conversation, with the streamers talking to nobody. Yeah, console.
Okay, so PlayStation.
Yeah.
So you have to go into settings and then the headset and speaker option.
Yeah, you can do that, but then
it lowers down the actual quality because of that. There's other stuff you could do again.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? So it lowers it down. You do it on Xbox and it does the same thing. You could hear kind of like like if it's in an open room type deal, but that's because now you're hearing the speakers. So what happens? You're hearing the other guys talking to you, and that's the quickest fix. There's other ways to fix it, but again, I'm not the pro at streaming. But now, we're gonna get a video up there, and maybe one of our good guys over there could put some stuff into it, and then put something together.
We're giving you some ideas here.
Yeah,
we're helping you out.
So I want to talk about my favorite part about Payday.
All right,
is the tournament queue.
All right, so we call it the ready up system. So we love that. So anytime you're gonna go and you put in a game, you turn on your console or your PC, what do you play? What do you push? First thing, if you want to get into a match, what do you push?
X.
Play now? Or
I wasn't sure what you were asking for. I was like, what do you push? It's gotta be X. The left mouse click? I don't know. What do you? Oh yeah, play now. Sure.
There you go. Play now, right? So, and anytime you're in the esports scene, you actually go into all right, hey, ready up. You're telling the other guy to ready up. So we're like, you know what? We got to do that. So our system was thought of that way. Was we were thinking of not just the esports people, the competitive scene, but we wanted to include everybody. You know what? Sure. Let's try to include everyone. So with that, we said, all right, we need a system that is able to allow us to have everyone participate. Because guess what? There's kids that are going to school that need to do homework, do chores, And even as adults, right? We got all that responsibility. We got to go to work, and all that good stuff. So what happens to these guys that 0.07%, or even those aspiring esports gamers that have a lot of time in their hands, where they're able to get on at any time, right? So what happens? So what happens is that you either don't make it because you have a set time, so that you have to be there to show up and play your match, so you get disqualified. So if you're in a competitive scene, that could cause a lot of stress. Teams break up because of that. Because, hey, you never get on at the time we want to practice, and so forth. And that causes it. Now, where does it leave the working person? It leaves you almost out completely. So what we did with the Ready Up is we allowed it to say, all right, you know what? You'll play 40 matches in the next 2 weeks. And we'll give you from, let's say, noon PST to 10 PST at night. So you could come in at any time during that window and hit Ready Up, and it'll ready you up against someone else or other teams that are ready to play. At that time, you go and you play. Once you're done, you just report your matches and stuff like that. But listen, if you can't play today because we're here in the podcast, right? So if I had a tournament today and I couldn't make it, then my team doesn't have to get mad at me. Because then I'll go and we can make it up tomorrow and so forth and play more matches the next few days. And then that's where the technology comes in of the fair system. So what it does is it won't allow anyone else to play more than 40 matches. Once they hit their 40 matches, they're done. That's it, and allows everyone else to catch up with those 40 matches. So technology is you Ready Up, and that's one part of it. The other thing is we built it with automated brackets. So once we said in the beginning what we wanted to do with the Ready Up, which is like qualifiers, it then creates, we tell it when to shut down, we tell it when to restart, and then it actually does the brackets itself, and it seats everyone based on the way they finished on the actual qualifiers.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
So you have to 40 matches, okay?
Yeah.
However it is, a week, 2 weeks, however long the tournament lasts. So when you play your turn, when you have your time and your team wants to play together, right? So we're going to practice, we're going to do whatever we're doing. Who do they play against? Is it just, it's all randos?
It is all randos.
Okay.
So the Ready Up system is all random. And we could tell the system, you know what, we don't want them to play the same team within 24 hours. Or we could tell them...
you can control certain qualifiers. Oh, that's amazing. You got a heck of a lot of filters.
We do. And
that's good.
And we're continuing to add more.
Okay.
And the reason why is because, again, we wanted to make it, we started talking about how fair things are, right? We wanted it to be fair. And right now, everyone roots for the higher teams to make it. So what they do is they put them against the amateur teams that are coming up and the least amount of experienced teams, hoping that these big teams make it. So what our system does, it randomizes everything. We don't control it. They sure don't control it.
Okay.
So they come and hit Ready to Play or Ready Up, and it randomly puts them against someone else. So it could be two big teams playing each other, and then they won't see each other again for another 24 hours plus.
Okay. So,
yeah.
My layman's understanding of this technology, correct me if I'm wrong here, is so if I'm playing in the other guy's tournament and I've got a matchup against some rando named John, I now got to contact this asshole I have no idea who is, say, when do you want to play, schedule our game, then we got to both get on the same time frame and set up a time to play. I've got to coordinate all of that stuff, correct?
No. The cool thing about it is that when you have, in our system, it gives you a set time, but yes, you can message them directly inside our system. So you don't.
But I'm saying on the other guy's tournament, the old way of doing it, I've got to go coordinate all that shit and track down some stranger I've never talked to before in my life.
Yep.
But with Payday, I can just jump in there and it's the same as a matchmaking queue for Call of Duty or something else. They're going to match me up. We got somebody else that's looking to play the tournament right now, right?
Correct. So that's what happens. So automatically it matches you up with someone else that's ready to queue up as well. And they queue up. That's the only reason why when you queue up, they're already queue up and the system matches you automatically.
Okay.
And then at that point, then you could use our internal messaging system to message them directly.
So you said, this is amazing. It generally is, genuinely is, to me, is incredible. It really is, this part of the technology. Yeah. And you've only had this a year? You've only been doing it a year?
Yeah, so we've only been doing it since, like I said, we LLC'd in March of last year.
Wow.
So, but like I said, there's been development before on it. As a matter of fact, last year, because we wanted to make it even better and the social media portion of the website better, we kind of dropped the old code and we redeveloped it the beginning of this year. So the website that you guys...
Payday 2.0?
Yeah, pretty much. That's what we call it. Chris, you nailed it. So Payday 2.0, and those guys are probably like, yeah, 2.0.
You said the slogan.
I know, you said it, man. But so it's Payday 2.0 pretty much, right? So new look, all right? There's a lot of stuff that's missing from it still that we are working towards, all right? We're a custom coded site, so we're not WordPress, so we're very easy adaptable. All right, so we could adapt any API, we could make any changes on the fly that we need to make. So that's a really cool other way how we build our website. And then again, we moved it to a new server. It's on iPage, which was Xbox Live, PS4, PSN is on. So, you know, we're on a really good server, able to handle the masses, because that's what we build it for.
So I want to know a little bit about the Payday origin story. So you've got a co-founder. He was supposed to be here tonight with us, but he had conflicts, wasn't able to make it.
Correct.
He
was scared. Let's say it.
Oh, jeez, whoa.
I get it, right?
So
you're watching.
So tell me about the moment Payday went from 1 to 2.
Payday started with a guy named Aaron Tidwell, okay, and he started loving to do tournaments. And I actually came in as, they already were a group of guys when I came in. They brought me in as the president of Payday. And a month later, I became the CEO.
Shooting up that ladder.
Good advancement trajectory.
Yeah. So, you know, and I was invited again to move up and take over as CEO because of my business background and my experience in esports, understanding the games, you know, being a player to being an organization owner, developing teams and everything. So the fascinating story is that these group of guys that I came to find out, there was another group of guys, but those group of guys fell off, you know, and we won't get into that story, but there was 3 guys left as owners. I was invited to come and become one of the owners for Payday, help build Payday, lead Payday, and make it what it needs to be. So I took Aaron Tidwell's idea, vision, and used it to build the business behind Payday and what it is, with the help of the 2 other owners, which is Justin Lang and William Zasinski, who's nailing me on Facebook this whole time. But they're all helping, you know, they all contributed, and I found a place for them as ownership, using their strengths, you know, to be able to help us, you know, like, you know, you guys know, you need a bootstrap, so you need to build that management. And then finally, at the end of last year, we had Jay Madrigal, who was supposed to be here, come in as a product officer because of his e-commerce experience. And Payday is not just a social media platform or a tournament platform. We're actually innovative, and we're continuing to innovate different things into it. So we're actually building our market hub. And the way that's going to work is very fascinating. It's kind of like Deal Dash, Amazon, eBay, all wrapped into one. And you're going to be able to play for products and win those products, you know, and stuff like that. So it's not just going to be straight cash tournaments, but maybe you need a PC, so you'll be able to buy in, and we'll have that PC in there, and you'll be able to play for it. And as long as we generate the traffic for it, then you'll be able to get that.
So is that why you went with more of a social media type platform over just a traditional gaming platform?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we wanted to make sure, like I said, Aaron had a vision, and his vision was to be able to bring more and offer more. And when I came in, I took the one-stop shop kind of deal. And why, you know, how do we keep them on the website? What do we give them and keep them on the site? Because that's the number one thing. You want the user base, you want the bounce rate to be down. So how do you do that? And you have to be able to provide both things that players and everyone does right now. It's their social medias, that's very important to them. Yep. They're streaming, and at the same time allow them to be able to use that, play tournaments, and then through those tournaments, they actually create viewers for themselves, and they market themselves through the same platform.
So one of the things that we've been giving away throughout the night here is subscriptions to Payday, one month subscriptions. What can you tell me more about what comes with a Payday subscription, what that kind of entails, and what opportunities there are?
Sure. So what's crazy is that even today we were having a meeting about this earlier, about the subscription, because we have so much. I don't believe in charging for customer service. Every one of our competitors charges you to even talk to you. And the way they do it is they're like, oh, 4 to 6 hours, 8 hours, you know, you have to be a premium and we'll get to you eventually. That's the way I see it. You know, like, so for us, we have our Discord, as you guys know, and we allow you. So one of the perks is to be able to talk to our guys right then and there. You know, it's not to text chat, but to voice chat. Be able to get in there, because our system is a smart.
It's even better. People like the voice chat.
Exactly. So we've been testing that now for a few months, and people are in there all the time, and they love getting in there and hearing us tell them the solution. You know, or even that, maybe whether it's good or bad, I should say. I'll keep it as that, right? So we like to the solution, whether it's good or bad. So that's it. You know, sometimes it's bad.
So you guys are using the audio and video chats inside the Discord as your customer service?
That is correct.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So we keep the user engaged, not only on our site, but also with human interaction, you know. And right now, nowadays, you don't get that too often, right?
No, especially with an online company. They look for any reason possible not to engage, not to respond. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, so the cool thing about it is, you know, we have great staff that helps us develop, you know, put in bots that help it. You know, our match disputes, whenever someone has a dispute, so St. Chris, you feel John cheated you.
He always does.
Well, I mean, there you go.
Horrible.
So
it's horrible.
Yeah, right? You're able to
just see some of these Bills-Lions games.
All right, I'm a Niners fan, so, you know, both teams suck for now.
Yeah, you got to report
that. I know, right? I got to film them now, but yeah, so when you dispute that match, it sends it into Discord, and it lets all the admins know, like, hey, there's a match that's disputed, and it gives us the link back to the actual match itself.
And you can just watch the replay or whatever it is.
Well, we look at see what the details of that dispute were. But again, the cool thing is that everything goes into the Discord, so we're there, so people could just go in and we say, all right, guys, jump into voice chat, and we saw your dispute. If we need something from them, we're able to talk, or they want to talk to us, they're able to communicate with us that way. So again, we're making sure that we don't lose the customer service, because that's very important to us.
I was going to say, it's very important as a consumer myself. I like it when I call someone, I don't have to push 75 buttons to get an automated response. I can just talk to someone and be like, hey, listen, and you can understand my situation. It's like, I understand. And at least there's that human interaction is so important. Like you said, there's so little human interaction nowadays.
So what do we get with a payday subscription?
Correct. So you get that. All right. You also get, for a monthly one, you're able to join all of our tournaments that we're going to start. The subscription will be valid starting September 1st, and it'll cover all the tournaments for that month. All right. So there's going to be $250 tournament on Mondays and Wednesdays. So one of them will be PlayStation, the other one will be Xbox, and then you'll have $100 ones on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and again, one Xbox, one PlayStation, and it'll be every week. So if there's a $250 one on Monday, there'll be another one the following Monday, but you'll be able to participate in all of them with no cost to you. So $15 or $14.99 would cover all those tournaments. At the end of the month, each console would have their own $1,000 premium only or player pass only tournament to go with it. So you get all that. And then again, there's customizable team page, customizable profiles. So again, there's a lot of cool stuff that we're going to put up. And just so you guys know, they're on the Payday website. And if you go follow our Twitter on PaydayGG, and I think it's on this side, and if you go to Instagram, it's on this side. It's I just saying, right? It's
right. Look at the board. Look at the board.
On the left-hand side over here, you guys will see there's more information on the player pass and all that good stuff. It'll also be put up on the website as well. And we're activating that premium, so people be able to go in there. Okay. And if you see on our website, payday.gg, where it says sign up today, that'll take you over to the actual premium, be able to showcase all that for you guys. But like I said, so there's a lot of perks that's going to come with that, but the main perk that everyone really cares about is entering those free tournaments.
Yeah, and winning actual money, right?
And winning actual money. Yeah. And for these guys that are getting these subscriptions today, again, you're going to be able to play for the full month of September at no cost to you on our Fortnite tournament. So,
that's incredible.
Yeah, correct. And then I think we're going to...
We've got the 6-month giveaway to get done. Are we ready to give away the 6-month subscription?
Sorry, I'm listening to the live show.
Are we ready to give away the 6-month subscription?
We can definitely give away the 6-month. I tried to give away a 1 month, but apparently I was giving it away to one of your people.
Oh, yeah.
So quickly, they answered the challenge. I was like, yeah, you won. He was like, I work there.
There you go.
I'm guessing that isn't the same.
Yeah. So you can give it to anyone else that the other guests that are on there. Yeah. So our guys, yeah.
Nice.
They're here supporting, which is thank you guys for being here.
So before we get into the tournament series that we're gonna work together to try to pull off and have it benefit Rock Against MS, I want to know what's Payday doing within the esports community and the Payday community in general to protect people from being bullied or trolled or just overall harassed, because some of these online communities can get toxic real fast. And with John and I, we ran a Madden league with like 20, 25 grown-ass adults. All got kids, parents, all that, and nothing but drama, nothing but bickering, nothing but complaining and all that. How are you guys going to keep the esports community or the Payday community positive?
So the great thing about that question is we go back to our community, where we're at, where we sit. Everyone that wants to communicate with us is on our Discord. We have our guy that put on some, bots that help identify certain words, phrases, or language that it's inappropriate, and therefore it automatically deletes the message before it hits. Obviously, we're also there helping the bot, and we monitor our chat. So if there's anything that happens, our community directors or any of those social media guys and gals that are helping us out are able to, give them that opportunity of like, hey, let's calm it down, or we'll ban you. So we start banning them on our Discord. And then we'll still allow them to play on the website. But again, because we do have forums on the website, and we also have direct messaging, for our guys that report that. Obviously, nowadays you can screenshot everything, take a picture of everything, then we take it serious and we ban them from the website as well.
Are there admins on the Discord 24/7?
Not now, because we're not running 24/7 yet.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Yeah, no worries. But again, that's where we're heading to, and we're working on that. Again, there's a lot of AI that allows you to have, someone answering messages and everything. Mm-hmm. But we will work on the admins as well for around the clock as well.
Okay.
So.
What do you guys have kind of the demographics of your community on age groups, brackets, male, female?
So the crazy thing is that our CMO, William Sasinski, he loves his numbers. And one of the things I remember is, we got asked this question, and I think obviously, in the population, it's like 69% males or 61% males and 39% females in the gaming community. And it's growing, right? So, and the demographic, the age group is 35. That's the medium age. So 35 is your gamer.
Is it really? I would have never guessed that. I'd have gone younger.
Exactly. So, but on our platform, we do have the younger generation. Anywhere from 18 years of age to around 24.
That's where I was thinking.
The biggest one that we are seeing right now. And when you start talking about the geographical areas, we pretty much get people from everywhere. We have people from Canada, Mexico, Europe,
Are you guys
Asia,
big in Peru?
Central America and South America we do. Not Peru necessarily.
Gratcast is big in Peru.
Chile,
We just found out last week it's a #2 country.
Oh, really?
He's not lying. It's actually true.
No, I'm the same.
So what would you say the demographic is for Payday right now with female gamers to male gamers?
There is, honestly, I would say about 80-20.
Guy to girl.
Guy, yeah, 80% males, 20%
It'd be the place to be if they had 80% female gamers there.
Right. So it's one of the things where it'll continue to evolve and grow because there's more competitive gamers now that are women. There's a lot more tournaments that are being specific for women, and I think our demographics will start changing with some of the games that we'll continue to add and bring to the table. just because of the competitive scene in them. So.
You gotta be pretty busy with Fortnite, though, right? That's like the biggest game that's out there for the moment. That's gotta be the biggest tournaments, right?
It is, and like I said, our in beta testing, we were growing. Like I said, for around 5 weeks, we ran in. We're growing at around a rate of 1,100 users per week. So wow. it keeps you busy for sure, you know, and you got multiple things happening. Like I said, we have the tournaments going on. You have to oversee the staff, make sure the staff's you have enough staff to cover all that. You have to make sure not only that, but then you have all the rest of the stuff, the social media portion of the website, and our own social media. And then not only that, but then you have the business side of things, like, the partnerships that you're working on, all the game developers and all that. Yeah. Building the market hub, making sure that the roadmap's there, and it keeps evolving. Our 90-day roadmap showed us gaining 5,000 users, and we gained them in 5 weeks. So
it's a good roadmap.
Yeah, seriously.
Rolling it out right away.
I know, exactly, right? So like I said, it's one of those things where you build it to what you think it's going to be, and then you keep evolving it as you grow. And that's one of the things that we have to do. We try to be proactive in as much as we can, but again, with the Fortnite community, there's groups that we belong to that are about 170,000 members for Fortnite.
That's just crazy. That's crazy. Exactly. 170,000 strong? Mm-hmm. One group?
One group.
Jeez.
And I belong to about 5 of those. So you can tell there's one that's like 208,000, and we're doing something with them now.
Couldn't even talk to 208,000.
Here's the real question, though. Yeah. Are you any good at Fortnite?
You know what? I'm better than most people in my payday team. That's all I gotta say. So.
Are you a builder pro?
I'm a builder pro. You know what I do? I do build like that. But if you ask our guy Night Bomber who does our podcast, he'd probably tell you what they call potato, right?
I know potato.
You know potato.
But go ahead and share for those who know.
You know potato, right? So,
I am potato sometimes.
Well, that means you're a rookie. You're not that great, and
you shoot like an idiot, like you're shooting potatoes.
That is correct.
I'm real good at hiding.
Yeah.
I'm real good at getting the jump on people, but I'm not real good at closing the deal.
Okay.
I could have you locked and loaded, and you'll have no clue I'm there, and I promise you'll kill me before I take you down.
His back will be to him, and he'll shoot, and then the guy will turn around and blow him away.
So when they turn on you, you just turn off your console, and that's it.
That's a great way to do it.
Just a ping.
That's great.
What happened? My Xbox shut down. I don't know what happened. PlayStation shut down.
So let's talk about a little bit about this tournament package that we're going to try and put together and pull off. So we talked earlier about the campaign. We're going to try and raise $1 million. Payday is going to be in our second slot there, and we want to help you guys get up and running with a whole bunch of monthly tournaments here that can eventually benefit Rock Against MS. So can you talk a little bit more about the tournament series and what we're going to try and put together?
Absolutely. So the one thing that we're going to try to do is we're going to try to use our Ready Up system to be able to promote and allow the masses to come in and participate for these massive monthly tournaments that we're going to be hosting. And then, like you said, some of those proceeds, I think it's like up to 5%, are going to go to Rock Against EMS, which is an organization that is very dear to us at Payday. And we're going to be able to contribute some of those winnings for them all the way until March. Oh, wow. So any tournaments that we host, a percentage will go directly to Rock Against EMS. So we're going to get it started as soon as we get the ball rolling. Obviously, marketing is very important.
Absolutely.
But we're building the user base now. So when these bigger tournaments come to be, maybe in November, we'll get started somewhere around there.
So why Rock Against MS? What makes it special to Payday? So,
I got invited not knowing that, so I got invited to this in February, and they said, hey, I met some great gentleman by the name of Nathan Dolliver, and he, great guys, and he's like, hey, you know what? Let me invite you over here so we could talk. So I went to Rock Against EMS, and I started seeing the lady Nancy there, and she was like, she's the founder of it. And I saw so many people come in to help her, and I never knew anything about MS, And just seeing the way she was working hard towards it and trying to fight against MS, but still trying to work her day and put a great show for the people, it was something that was like, wow, okay, it's inspiring, right? So then we were like, Will and I are very big on doing charity events. We tried doing charities streams with Stack Up, which is a veteran company, and we try to do multiple others, charity streams, and And so we try to give back a lot. So me going there and being able to meet her and see how nice they were and everything, and then what they go through on a daily basis, I wanted to be able to contribute to that. Well, you know, I think the last few days, one of our owners came to us and said, hey, just so you guys know, I have MS. So it was one of those things where it's like, wow, okay, so that kind of hit close to home there, you know, and so for us, it's big for us to be able to help Rock Against the MS, not only because of one of our owners, but just because in general, you know, the people that I met and how great they were and what they're trying to do. Obviously, all their money goes back towards the organization. So it's not like these other companies that you see that give 10% or no percent to the people that are actually trying to help out. But these people actually give everything they make back to the organization. So, you know, they haven't collected paychecks since they founded it 3 years ago. They haven't done any of that stuff. I know. So
it's rare to find a charity that actually uses the majority of what they get
for said charity.
Correct. So
yeah.
we're actually, I think I tagged them on one of them, but if you're not, it's just rockagainstthems.com. Go look and check them up, and you know, if you feel it in your heart to donate, by all means. I mean, they have a big event that they put together, and it's going to be at Los Angeles Theater. Actually, I was just texting with Nancy earlier about a sponsorship deck that she's getting ready to provide to me so that we could help her look for sponsors for that event. But again, yeah, it's a great cause for us, and again, that's why it's dear to my heart because of one of the owners in Payday.
I understand that. Yeah.
So
well, we're going to do everything we can to help make that happen, and definitely contribute our share to that as well.
Yeah.
So it's about this time that I'm remembering the last thing on my to-do list was to send John or to send Mike the Bullet Blitz sound effect.
Already done.
And I forgot to send him the sound effect. Oh, it's queued up? Do we have our Bullet Blitz sound effect? Oh,
yeah,
we're good to go. All right, we're going to move into our Bullet Blitzes. John's going to lead off the way so you can get an idea for how it goes. Then you're going to go, and I'm going to go last so I have extra time to come up with one here.
All right.
Perfect. Mine's very simple. We're going to go with the topic of the whole video game thing, right?
You got it.
I love video games. Huge fan. Probably too old to be doing it, but whatever. Life is what it is. I enjoy it.
Our generation
I like the
grew up
Fortnite
video
games.
games.
It's one of the newer ones. I like it. I like the footballs. Well, I don't like them anymore because they're horrible. The new ones, they're ridiculously horrible. One of my all-time favorites is the NHL series. Okay, back on the Sega Genesis.
Oh yeah.
Long story short, what's one? Because it's tough to pull the number one favorite. It's like a number one movie or number one song. It's difficult. What is your number one or one of your number one all-time favorite games that you've ever played? Be it PC, console, whatever.
Modern Warfare 2.
Really?
Hands down.
Why is that?
It's just the weapons, the way, the mechanics of it, the gameplay itself, everything. Everything that has to do with Modern Warfare 2, hands down, was the best. I mean, I love Halo. I grew up with Halo, and I mean, honestly, we had a big plan with it with a bunch of my friends, but honestly, up to date, Modern Warfare 2. I mean, that just does it for me. Okay. You know, and so that's mine.
What do you got, Chris?
You're not gonna like this, and you're probably not gonna believe it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. No Man's Sky, man. No Man's Sky all day long.
I do believe it. I don't agree, but I believe it.
It's not so much what the game is now, but it's what the game can become and what it's already got in place. You've got another studio with developers all around the world and $200 million in crowdfund investments in Star Citizen, and they can't scratch the surface of what No Man's Sky pulled off with 12 people. Sure, it took them 2 years to get the game around to up to snuff and all of that, but they've got a base now that is so prepared to build off of and add to. I'm through the roof with the future for No Man's Sky.
I'm just hoping that these words that you're saying, for this game anyway, they come to fruition, because the game, it's interesting. It just, to me, it feels like it loses steam. Now, when you add more content, of course, it's going to make things easier. But it's just like, hey, I'm mining. Hey, I'm searching. Hey, I'm mining.
Yeah, but
hey, I'm searching. How boring.
Step one was get the whole universe to exist. Step two is get the universe to exist and function properly, which they're now at. And step three is add all the bells and whistles. I have no doubt we're within 2 to 3 years away from epic 100 people space battles and all this other heck
which
bullshit.
I will tune back in 2 to 3 years.
Well, you better get your units up and you better get locked and loaded, because in other words, you're going to have a bunch of shitty ships while I'm in S-Class everything. So it's the future of that game, man. It's going to be amazing. And games like Fortnite and all this other shit
can take place
in the No Man's Sky universe. You just take a portal to the No Man's Sky, or to the Fortnite planet, and you're automatically registered for a Fortnite battle on that planet. It can do all of that stuff.
You know, my game right now though to go, it's PUBG. I play that thing all the time.
I do too, but it's not. I
feel bad for them.
Optimized.
You know what? I feel bad for them too, but it's not on console.
But it's still one of the best.
It's horrible as far as when it comes to.
Oh, I never touched the console for that.
But I'll tell you that it's gotten a lot better. The test server, they put a test server, they test everything in there, the weather. But obviously PC's already had it, so we're looking there on YouTube, or you check one of the big influencers playing and you see what's coming. You're like, all right, cool, we want to have it. But man, just the way that game plays, you got to build everything. There's nothing handed to you. You know, and that's what I really, really like.
And there's no building. It's like you have to hide behind a rock. That's just how you have to
use real skills.
Yeah.
Right? Building, I don't know if I call that skills, but it is a skill.
It is.
But PUBG is all about, creating your weapon. You find a weapon and it's bare.
Yeah.
You want
no
an
attachments.
Extended mag. Yeah. All the attachments you can think of, you gotta go get it there. And I really like that.
Chris knows, but he doesn't have a PC, so he'll never play it.
Well, you could get it on console, don't you?
No, I was going to get
a PS4 though.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I got a Mac that can barely do editing on a video I can do on my phone now.
On his phone, that's ridiculous.
I was going to get a PC for gaming.
Okay.
But I was going to get it when Star Citizen actually delivered on what they've been saying they could deliver on. And who knows if that's ever going to happen. So instead, I've got No Man's Sky.
Hey, listen, man. Whatever.
Of course.
The answer would have been Madden if they put any actual.
I'm telling you, it's horrible. I can't say it enough.
For a game, it's disgusting.
Madden is
ridiculous. We have
ridiculous.
a game that we're working with to do a tournament, and you guys will see it, but I'm going to announce it here. It's called NFL, Mutant Football League.
I remember
it. It is insane. It's new. It is crazy. I saw it at E3.
Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, well...
the Mutant Football League, EA, right?
No.
Oh, because they had their own Mutant Football League back in the day.
This is a totally different...
Oh, okay.
I think I was thinking of NFL Blitz.
No, because there were ones in the Mutant Football League, I think it was, like holes would open up in the ground and the player could fall in. It's like ridiculous type of football. So it's the same type of thing. It's probably a remake.
So I would definitely check it out, but it's insane. I played it. I tested. Man, there's two ways to win. Either you buy points, the normal, or you really go at it and have fun and you eliminate the complete other team. Like you kill them all. Like done.
That's strange.
You can even kill the ref.
I don't recall that.
It pisses you off.
I don't recall that from the other game.
I know, right? Sorry for using the word KIL, but still, So again, sorry, I went back and I.
You're fine, man. That's what the bullet blitzes are. But you are now up.
So here's the one thing that everyone does. All right, I know for sure is in gaming. Right, and people do it all the time, and they get caught, or most of them get caught, filmed, and everything.
Weird.
Right?
What are you talking about?
People road rage, right?
Oh.
But now you bring that into gaming. Give me an example of your rage.
Oh, jeez.
What do you do?
Well, I blew up our entire Madden league from not even so much rage quitting, just rage quitting from being cheated so many times by people that will exploit the system when we're not willing to exploit the system. But yeah, Madden will. I haven't broken a controller yet with rage quitting, but
I've come close.
Madden gets under my skin like few things other than road traffic can get under my skin.
Yeah, it's amazing. Raging is crazy.
I don't understand road rage, but I told you this before.
Yeah.
But if I equate it to the video game rage, then I can understand why people want to shoot people. That's how angry I get. I've taken the controller, and it's Madden specific, and I can feel how easy I could just snap it in half.
Listen,
I'm so.
I don't know how much you've played Madden in the last years, but there is no other game out there that is absolutely programmed to cheat with predetermined outcomes and everything else. Like football, right?
Yeah.
How jacked up is it that they put the computer's AI tackle breaking button maneuvers tied to your tackle button? So the computer won't make a juke move unless you push the button you have to push to tackle it, which automatically triggers them to juke out of it and blow you away.
Yeah.
So you're set up to fail. There's no right outcome there. There's times where it will break and bend its own physics to deliver the outcomes that are clearly predetermined. It's a joke on what level did they break their own game to give the appearance of a competitive game versus an actually competitive game?
So that's a good question for our partner at TGFN, Aaron Ludwig, because he was there playing it that night.
Oh, he's going to be our Packers guy in the league.
Yeah, he is.
Who?
Yeah, Aaron, one of the guys.
Oh, he likes the Packers?
Yeah, he's a Packers fan.
I can't wait till Rodgers retires. Anyway.
Yeah, but he loves it, and he was telling us like, "Oh man, I'm here. I'm about to play tonight. I'm ready. Yeah. Madden's coming out." I was like, "All right, man. Who you playing with?" You know, he's like, "Oh, the Green Bay Packers." I was like, "All right, well, you losing." So I don't know. I never asked him, but we'll see. But
he didn't tell you anything about it.
That's right. You sound angry when you.
So what about you? What game has triggered your rage?
You know, I think I rage no matter what game I play. Because
perfect.
That's how you become a pro Halo player.
Exactly.
I care.
Exactly. So it's in me, right? It's almost like it's second nature. You're a competitive player, so I rage if my teammates don't kill someone that they should have killed. I could have killed with my eyes closed. You could have just.
Oh, you don't want to play with me then, do you?
Yeah. You could have thrown your weapon at the guy, your helmet, and killed the guy. You know, and it's like, dude, he was one shot. Like, all you gotta do is whistle at him and he'll die, you know, or just run by him. But yeah, that's.
It's funny that you say that because I have a friend whom I've played PUBG with.
Yep.
And I actually literally only have vision in one eye at this point. It's just how it is.
Damn good at video games for a guy with one eye.
It's not a big, but because I can't track with two eyes.
Okay.
And you know PUBG, if someone's in the brush, it's tough to see them
It is.
with two eyes. So this is what happens. A friend of mine sees him. He's already dead, so he's viewing me. And he sees me, he's like, "Oh my God, he's right there, shoot him." Now he doesn't say where he is. He says, "There he is, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, don't you see him?" And clearly, I don't see him. Or I would have shot him.
Give me a time.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm like, where? He's right there.
But see, PUBG has that whole deal. It has like a compass.
Tell me 365.
Exactly.
Don't just say right there.
That's me though. When I see him, like, how the hell did you not see him? He's like right there. He's like, where? And he was like left. And then on the old number 360, and he'll still go right, keep going right, and it's like.
So he goes this way to find the 360 as opposed to just turning left.
Exactly. He could have just made a little bit of a left, but no, he goes around the clock. You know.
Okay. So you rage all the time. So that was the answer to your question. You're a game rager gamer.
No, not really.
Okay.
But I do get up there, and let me tell you, it's just the love and passion of wanting to win all the time, even though you can't. But you know, for the most part, yeah, you just pick up your slack, you know. So.
All right. Final one. What was your first favorite video game growing up?
Adventure, hands down.
What was it?
Adventure on the Atari 2600. Yeah, I'm that old. Adventure was amazing. It was a great game. Combat was fun because it was the first game on the Atari 2600, but my favorite game growing up with youth was Adventure. And you were just a dot. Did you ever see that game for the 2600? You're literally a pixel, and it runs around. It's a very horrible game, but back then it was great. And you could find the invisible dot, and then you could use the bridge to go through walls. There was a lot of interesting stuff. Did you play it?
Yep.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I actually, my favorite game is Centipede. That's my first game actually. Because my dad played it a lot.
Oh, so I could understand. I never really liked Centipede.
Yeah, we did, and I remember going to the arcade, and I kind of couldn't even look. I had to look up, and before the arcades were a lot closer, so it doesn't matter how short you were, you know,
right,
or how young. Let's put it that way, right? But you could still scroll, you know, and that was it. That was it.
I did also enjoy the Street Fighter when it first came out, because when it first came out, it was a joystick and two big rubber slammers, and one was for punch and one was for kick, and you just had to it tired you out so much. That was fun too, though.
So what was yours, Chris?
Yeah.
King's Quest. The King's Quest
I can understand that. That was a lot of fun too.
I love those.
A lot of fun. Yeah. A lot of fun. King Graham, I think it was.
Yeah. I got up to 4. King's Quest 4.
Really? Did you ever play like the Space Quest or any of those other Quest series?
I did the Black Cauldron, the Disney one.
Okay.
I think there was a bug in that one because I got so far and it felt like something else was supposed to happen. And I couldn't move past that point.
Okay.
It was I don't know. I always went in, I can remember it vividly too. You were in the dungeons or the catacombs underneath the castle, and you walked into this room where the Black Cauldron, which you've been looking for the whole goddamn game, there's the Black Cauldron. You're there, you're in the room, and then this dude comes up on this like overhang up above on the floor above, says some weird shit, and then you just die every time. Every single time I just died there and never solved the Black Cauldron, but I found it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, yeah, that's it.
All right, last words on this show before Mike cues up our closing song.
And you're such a huge fan of our closing.
Oh, we've got
song.
a great closing song.
You haven't heard it? You'll hear it. You'll hear it in just a second.
Don't fuck this up, Mike.
All right. So, but no, obviously, guys, there's going to be a lot of stuff that is going to be happening here in the next few months with us.
Which is very exciting, truth be told.
It very much is. I'm very excited. The team's very excited, and
we're excited as well.
Oh yeah, no, and I'm glad that we're doing this. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's coming, and
the weeks to come are going to be full of announcements.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing that we have coming too. So just look us up. Follow Gratwood Productions, right? Follow Payday GG,
of course,
and social media.
And follow Kathy Kolla too. She's a great woman.
She was great.
Yeah,
of course.
Billy Bones is a good documentary. You should check it out.
It's Kolla Cat Industries, right?
Yes, okay. Kolla Cat Industries. Okay. All right, Mike, you're up.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.